Hi, this is Krista at the Secret Yarnery. Today we're making this super easy granny square for beginners where we change color. It's super square so it doesn't twist like lots of granny squares do. The holes are as small as they can be, so it's quite it's as solid as a real granny square can be. And we don't have very many ends to sew in. So let's get started. To make a granny square with changing colors, just grab whatever yarn you want to use. I'm doing 5 rows for mine, so I have 5 colors, and I've just laid them out in an order that I like. And get your hook. Use whatever hook goes with your yarn. I am using a 5mm hook, but whatever hook you want to use is fine. To start making our color changing granny square for beginners, we are going to make a slip knot. So you can make a slip knot any which way that you do. I put the tail over my hand, the palm of my hand, and hold it down with my thumb on my ring finger and just wrap my yarn around my fingers and then poke it underneath that ring I just made and pull it like that, and then shrink it down, making sure that the yarn coming from the ball is the yarn that is adjusting the ring or the loop. Then put it onto your hook and pull it down. Hold your tail and you're going to do a chain 3. So push your hook onto your yarn, flip it over and bring it through. We're going to do that 3 times. So there's 2 and there's 3. If you're not sure about your stitches, I have tutorials teaching you how to do those, and I'll put those in the description box below. So you have 3 V's, 1, 2, and 3. Into the first V, put your hook in, doesn't matter where. Hold that tail down alongside, kind of have a little bit of a U shape here. Just hold your tail along beside it and wiggle your finger towards your thumb so you can kind of hold that center open, if you can see that. You're going to slip stitch to turn it into a ring. So just grab your yarn, turn your hook, and bring it through both loops that were on your hook, and chain 3 right away. 1, 2, and 3. Still holding that open so you know where the center is of your ring. Wrap your yarn and go right into the ring. So you're going to be pushing your hook right onto your finger, bringing your yarn back through, wrapping your yarn and taking off 2, wrapping your yarn and taking off 2. So that is a double crochet, and your chain 3 counts as a double crochet in this pattern. So 1 more double crochet into the center, so wrap your yarn and go into the ring, grab your yarn and bring it back, wrap your yarn and take off 2, wrap your yarn and take off 2. Now chain 2, 1 and 2, and this will be for your corner. And 3 more double crochets into that ring, and just make sure you're going over your tail. Just kind of hold it along the side and go straight back into that exact center. And make another double crochet. That's your first, your second, and your third. If I get going too fast, just pause the video until you catch up. And then we have done 2 sides of our square. You can kind of pinch that ring and grab those stitches and kind of pull them. So push your stitches and pull your ring so you get more space to do more double crochets. Now we're going to chain 2 for our corner and wrapping our yarn, go back into the center of the ring, going over that tail, and a set of 3 more double crochets, which is also called a shell, usually. So there's our 3. So now we've done 3 sides of our square. Chain 2 to get around your corner. Push those stitches back again. You really have to give it a good yank to get those stitches moved back so you have space just along the ring. And our last 3 double crochets of this round. 1, 2, and 3. So there is our 4 sides, and now we're going to join. Because we're changing color, I'm going to chain 2, same as always, and I'm going to slip stitch to the top of this chain 3. So if you move your stitches back, you can count your V's again. There's a V down there, so 1, 2, and 3. This is the third V. Push your hook in, You want to get 2 loops on your hook. So 2 strands of that V onto your hook, and then slip stitch to join. So bring your yarn through and bring your yarn through. So that has secured or fastened, that's joined our round, and now we're going to chain 1 to secure our yarn and cut your yarn, leaving a decent tail. Pull your hook up and your yarn through and snug that down to secure. Now, because I don't like sewing in my ends, I'm going to work this tail back along this side, so after the next round I can cut it off. So put your hook in, grab your yarn and bring it through just that back loop. So the back loop, it's only the last V. The last strand of the V. So put your hook in. That's a tight little guy, isn't it? Put your hook into that one loop. Bring your yarn through and do to the next one as well. Just the back loop and one more. Just the back loop. So now stretch it out. We don't want it pulling anything. We have it over to the center of that next shell, and now we're going to bring it back this way because we don't want it stretching and wiggling out. So put your hook in from the back side and pull it through, and then on the other side, way over here, bring it back towards the front. Whoops. There we go. So now when we work around this corner, because we're going to put 6 double crochets in there, that's really going to pinch it down, and we can cut it off when we're finished. And because we worked over our tail down here where we started, we can cut that one off already. So that one is out of our way. And we have finished our first round. To start your second round, you pick your next color. My next color is purple. So we want to flip our work. We want to be working into the back side. So you know the front of your work or the top of your work, the stitches are nice and pretty. They're like little twisties, which are super cute. And you can kind of see these V's are facing you. You can see the top edge. It's a bit of a beveled edge. If you flip it over, I call them macaroni. You can kind of see these macaronis and you can't see any of the V's. The V's are facing down. The cute little V edge, you can't see that one. So this is the back side, and we want to work into the back side for each round that we're starting. So get your hook, and you don't want to join your yarn the same place you joined last time because it'll just add bulk. So move to a different corner. I'm going to go to the one before the join and put my hook into that corner space. So just poke your hook into the space, grab a loop of your yarn. This I leave a bit of a yarn because this one we do have to sew in a little bit with a needle. And bring it through, and then do a slip stitch with both. So wrap your yarn and drag both strands through to secure. Now we can drop our tail. We're going to work over that a tiny bit just now, and chain 2, 1 and 2, because that first, how we joined our yarn also looks and counts as a chain 1. So that looks and counts as a chain 3, which counts as our double crochet. So now wrap your yarn and go into that same corner space, going over your tail, and do 1 double crochet and a second double crochet. So we're always going to start this way with a chain 3 or a slip stitch and a chain 2 and 2 double crochets. And now jump over into your corner, making sure you're working over that tail that we worked in. So wrap your yarn and go straight over to that corner and make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. What? Yeah, it's fine. And then push your stitches back. So pull on that corner and push your stitches back and chain 2 for your corner, the actual bendy bit, and 3 more double crochets into that same corner. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to do the same corner, what we just did, we're going to do it in each of these corners here. So we're going to do it 2 more times. So wrap your yarn and go into the next corner space, making 3 double crochets, 2 and 3, and a chain 2, 1 and 2, and 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to do that again in this corner here. So wrap your yarn, go in, your first double crochet, your second double crochet, and your third double crochet. Grab that corner and push those stitches back because you want more space here for your next set of 3 double crochets. You don't want them going on top of each other. And chain 2 and 3 more double crochets into that same spot. 1, 2, and 3. And now to finish this round, we're just going to finish our corner where we started, because we always start and stop in a corner, in the center of a corner. So wrap your yarn and 3 double crochets into this last corner spot. 2 and 3. And because we're finished with this color, we are going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and slip stitch to the top of this chain, the third V up, slip stitch to join, and chain 1 to secure your yarn, cut your yarn, pull your hook up and your yarn through, and now we're going to weave in this tail along this corner, just like we did the last time, by going into the back loop. First into the second loop, just poke your hook into that back loop only and drag it through, and we're going to drag it through all the way to this stitch, the center of the first shell over there, this one. So we get it that far, and now we're going to bring it back. So I'll bring it through, and then I'll bring it forward. There's no real science to it. You just want it around this corner so it's handy when you are working over that to make another corner, and then we can cut it off. So like this orange one here, now we can cut that one off because we worked over it. So that one's finished. This one I can show you what to do with also while we're here. You can take your needle and just thread it. Oops. If you can thread it, there we go. And then skipping one of these loops. So I'm not going to go in straight into the first one, but the rest of them. And I'm just going to work it underneath that fat part, underneath all those stitches. Working my way this way and just pulling it back through there. Like that. And now we can cut off that purple one as well. So half we can cut off straight, the other half we just work back. And my French bulldog is back. So now we're not going to join in this corner, so I'm going to flip it and pick a different corner. So I'm going to join into this corner, my next color, which is going to be blue. So just put your hook into that corner, same as we did for the last round. Loop of yarn on your hook, bring it through, slip stitch with both to join, drop your tail, and chain 2, 1 and 2. So that counts as your chain 3. If you join your yarn in a different way, then join your yarn and do a chain 3. Wrap your yarn and 2 double crochets into that corner space. And along into the side space, we're just going to do 3 double crochets. And remember to be working into the back of your last round. You want to make sure you have this macaroni up. Get my yarn sorted out. And into the corner space, make a corner, which is 3 double crochets and a chain 2. Let me get to the chain 2. And a chain 2, push your stitches back, and 3 more double crochets into that corner. 1, 2, and 3. The side space, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And making sure we're going to go over that tail into the corner space, we do our corner. Corners are 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. A chain 2, 1 and 2, and 3 more double crochets. If you're running out of space in that corner, remember you can always push those stitches back to get some more space. You want to make sure your stitches are flat and side by side. They're laying down flat beside each other. Now keep going around, doing 3 double crochets into the ones on the side, and corners where it's pointy is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So go all the way around and I'll meet you back for the join. So I did my last 3 double crochets, and now to join we're going to chain 2 and slip stitch to the top of this chain to join. So put your hook in, bring your yarn through, turn your hook, and bring your hook through again for a slip stitch. Chain 1 to kind of knot your yarn, cut your yarn, pull your hook up and your yarn through, snug that down to secure, and now work this tail back and forth around this corner. And then back the other way. Now we can cut off this purple one because we worked over it like that. And if you want to do the blue one now, you can do the blue one. Just bring it back along that side. And we're ready to join our next color. Green is my next color. So remember to flip your work over. You want to have these macaronis looking at you, not this cute little edge. So cute little edge down, macaroni up, find a corner that you haven't worked into lately, so not this one. And if you pinch them, you can see where you did. I did this one the last time, so maybe I'll do this one now. You just don't want to put them all in the same edge, the same corner. So put your hook into that corner spot. Loop of yarn on your hook. Bring it through, slip stitch with both, drop your tail, and chain 2 more. So that looks and counts as a chain 3. And wrap your yarn 2 double crochets into that corner to start that corner. You're just going to do half of it, same as always. And now work your way around. So you're going to do a shell in this side spot and a shell in that side spot, and then corners in your corners. Corners are 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and work your way along each side, putting 3 double crochets into each of these side spots all the way around. So sides are 3 double crochets. In the next one, and corners, make sure you go over that tail, but we wove it in, so you will go over it, but that's why it's weird. So this is 3 double crochet, chain 2, got fuzz on my yarn. Push your stitches back if you need some more space, and 3 more double crochets into that corner. And then work along your side and work along your corners, and I'll meet you back when you get to the join. So I finished my last 3 double crochets, and we're finishing this color because we're changing every row. So chain 2 and slip stitch to the top of that chain to join. So just slip stitch, chain 1 to secure your yarn, cut your yarn, pull your hook up and your loop through, snug it down, and now we're going to weave in this tail as well. So that is round 4 complete. My next and last color is going to be this yellow. And flip your work. Remember to flip your work. That keeps it square. If you don't turn your work, your square kind of turns, all your kind of rows start twisting and it stops. It looks kind of like, I don't know, like a church window or something. It does not look like a total perfect square. So flipping your work fixes that problem. So flip it over. We want to work into the macaroni of the very last round, or we want to be seeing the macaroni from the very last round. And pick a corner to work into. So not this corner here, not that corner there. So I'll go to this corner over here. You just find one that you haven't worked into lately. Put your hook into the corner space, loop of your new yarn on your hook, and we're doing this exactly the same way. Pull the loop through, slip stitch with both strands to join, drop your tail, and chain 2 more. That counts as our first double crochet, and 2 more double crochets into that corner space. And working over your tail, you want to be holding that behind and working over it only for these 2 stitches here. Now you're dropping your tail and working along, doing 3 double crochets into each of these corner or each of these side spots, and corners into corners, which are 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets all the way around, and I'll meet you for the join. So we finished with this color as well. So I will chain 2 and slip stitch to join. Slip stitch, chain 1, cut my yarn, hook up, yarn through, snug it down to secure. And now you can also weave in this end. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's a super great way of changing your yarn and not having so many tails to weave in. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share, and stay hooked.